Before the stages, before the awards, before the world screamed his name, there was silence. A silence Jackson Wang heard in the middle of noise. He was winning medals in fencing, chasing Olympic dreams in Hong Kong, but something in him whispered, "There's more." He stepped away from one dream to chase another, moved to Korea alone, trained for years. He became an idol under the brightest lights. And yet, there was a moment, a breaking point. I felt like a robot. I wasn't myself anymore. Jackson said those words not in anger, but in awakening. He wasn't lost. He was outgrowing a version of himself. This story isn't centered on reinvention. It's about risk, about walking away from comfort to find something genuine. Jackson Wang didn't leave to escape. He left to finally arrive as his true self. When GOT7 ended their chapter together, Jackson didn't leave in rebellion. He left with clarity. He respected the group, loved the journey, but knew deep down that a different version of himself had been waiting in the background. One that didn't fit into polished choreography or rehearsed variety show smiles. He wasn't running from K-pop, he was walking toward himself. In 2017, he founded Team Wang, a name that quickly grew into more than just a label. It became a creative collective, a lifestyle brand, and a symbol of self-expression. They didn't just make music, they directed visuals, built fashion lines, designed campaigns, and told stories the way he saw them. Jackson wasn't waiting on anyone's approval to start creating. He created and let the world catch up. The reaction was mixed at first. Some fans were confused. The music was heavier, the aesthetics were darker. It didn't feel like idle Jackson, but that's the point. It's not about palatability, it's about truth. And he didn't try to explain it. He let the art do the talking. Loud, imperfect, and full of fire. Because sometimes the clearest truth is the one that doesn't ask for permission. Jackson's solo music didn't chase the music standard, it chased truth. In tracks like Blow and Cruel, he transformed emotion into atmosphere, mixing cinematic production with raw vocals and haunting lyrics. It's not polished for comfort, it's jagged by design. Every song carried fingerprints of someone fighting for honesty in a world that wanted performance. There's a chaotic beauty to the sound. The edges aren't smoothed out. The pain isn't hidden under metaphors. His voice cracked in places. His visuals felt surreal. It's not just vulnerability, it's exposure. He once said that he creates music for those who feel like they don't fit in, for the misunderstood, the in-between, the ones who feel everything too loudly. By showing his own mess, he gave others permission to feel theirs without apology. Some people didn't get it, but the ones who did, they didn't just become fans, they became believers. Jackson's journey never fit inside one label. Born in Hong Kong, trained in Korea, performing across continents. He's lived across languages, industries, and expectations that often clashed. But instead of seeing that as confusion, he embraced it. He once shared how he doesn't fully belong anywhere, and yet fans around the world made him feel like he belonged everywhere. That paradox became his power. His in-season identity helped people across cultures see themselves in him. The more lost he felt inside, the more people could relate. He started using his platform to speak beyond the music, about identity, pressure, and the feeling of being stuck between two worlds. His story became a thread that tied strangers together, not because he had answers, but because he dared to ask the same questions out loud. Papillon dropped in 2017, and from the first second, it shook expectations. The visuals were bold, the lyrics were sharp, and the message was clear. Jackson had no plans to fit in. It's not a safe track, it's loud, risky, and full of fire. The kind of debut that doesn't ask for permission. This was the first moment the world saw Jackson without a filter. Not the idol, not the entertainer, the individual. That statement that says, "I am more than your expectations." Papillon opened the door and Team Wang would kick it wide open. And that set the tone for everything that came after. Jackson didn't want to just represent a brand. He wanted to build one with his own hands. Team Wang wasn't created for status, it came from his soul. He chose the fabrics, crafted the visuals, directed the shoots, and stayed involved in every frame of the process. He called the shots. In music and fashion and storytelling, he was leading it. There were no corporate safety nets, no big agency making the calls. Jackson and his team running on pure belief and obsession. They built it from zero, faced doubts, kept pushing, and every piece of it, whether a beat, a hoodie, or a concept video, had his fingerprints on it. He proved something rare in this industry. You can be the artist and the architect, not just a performer, but a builder. And he built a world no one else could have imagined but him. Even with the spotlight on him, Jackson never acted like everything was fine. He's opened up about depression, about panic, about imposter syndrome, not as a celebrity, but as a human trying to keep up with himself. He once told a fan, "Even when you're doing great, you can still feel empty." That hit deep, and fans broke, because that was their story too. He didn't try to be the strong one. He tried to be the real one, and in being real, he became something more than just an artist. He became a mirror, a voice, a friend to millions who felt the same. His biggest impact? Not his music, not his brand, but his courage to be vulnerable when the world don't expect it. Then came Magic Man, an era that lit up everything. Visually intense, emotionally layered, symbol heavy. Jackson didn't play it safe. He poured chaos into the music, turned emotions into color, and burned through any expectation that remained. Every video felt like a film. Every lyric had double meaning. He stopped explaining himself. He just created. Pushed his voice, his body, his imagination. Fans didn't just see a performer anymore. They saw an architect, a visionary, someone who was done chasing validation and started chasing vision. In an industry built on rules, Jackson Wang broke one of the biggest. He dared to say no. No to being the perfect idol. No to following formulas for fame. No to staying quiet just to stay relevant. Because being seen isn't the same as being free. He was offered paths paved with guarantees, safer sounds, bigger labels, more control, but not his. And every time he walked away, people asked, why risk it? Fame was loud, but Jackson was carving out a legacy that would echo long after the noise died down. He once said, "I don't care about being the best. I care about being real." And that's the difference. Most chase moments. He's building meaning. Most follow waves. He's learning how to make them. Because when the world writes your story for you, it's easy to become a product. But Jackson, he chose to be a person. That's not rebellion. That's legacy. Jackson Wang didn't walk away to escape. He walked away to return, with more of himself than ever before. He burned down what was expected of him so something true could rise from the ashes. He's not just an idol, not just a brand. He's living proof that you can grow, evolve, and still stay whole, that breaking down isn't the end. It's how transformation begins. And the most powerful thing he ever did wasn't singing, or dancing, or performing. It was telling the truth, his truth, even when it was messy, even when it scared him. Especially then, Jackson Wang dared to be bold. Will you? What part of Jackson's journey hit you the hardest? Comment down below.